Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on this video, we are going to make a beach-themed nativity scene. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do it, and I think it's going to be beautiful and something that you could leave out all year long. So, we're going to be using oyster shells and starfish. This is an actual real one. We're going to be using two different colors of paint. Waverly brand, my favorite. This one is called Dusk. This one is called Agave. And then we're going to be using this little folk art treasure gold. And I have a variety of surfaces. And then how I'm going to make the oyster shells be pretty, which I think they already are very pretty, but even prettier, the inside of them is going to look opalescent, almost like a pearly inside of a clamshell. And we're going to be using this, which is called glittering white chalk paste. I'll be using a couple different kinds of glue. When everything's all finished, I will be spraying it with clear spray sealer. And, and I'm going to be using this right here was one of these. Wood panel, $3, and it was 12 by 12, and it was from Dollar Tree. And then this was just one of their $3 easels. Okay, so why are we making a nativity scene in summer time or in late spring? Well, the reason why I'm doing that is because although we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ in December at Christmas, there's evidence that he was more likely born during the months of June, July, August, September, or October, based on, I don't know, what was harvesting and just other information. But anyways, it does not say in the account of Jesus's birth that it was Christmas Day. And his birth is worth celebrating every single day. So if you would like to read about the details of Jesus's birth, I would recommend that you go to the book of Luke, to the 2nd chapter, and start reading there. Because it gives a very thorough, wonderful account of his birth. Okay, so let's start with the project. Oh wait, before I do that, this was just sitting here staring at me. And so I thought I'd show you. This was something I made, I don't even know when. But you can make almost anything you want out of oyster shells. And I just think they're beautiful. So I got that out to show you before we got started. Okay, so I have two things going here. This is just a little, like a block. I believe these came from Amazon, but I don't know, I've had them forever. And they stand up, which is nice. And I painted this one with 2 coats of agave. I painted this, back needs another coat, and the front and the edges in Dusk. So I just wanted to show you the color choices. They're both beautiful colors. That color that Waverly also has called Pool is pretty. Whatever color appeals to you, you could use. And then I have been working on some edging, which we're going to finish that up using this stuff, which is awesome. Oh my gosh. This is folk art brand Treasure Gold. It's super easy to work with. And I'm just going to finish this last little spot, and then we'll do the edges of this one, and then we'll move on to the next step. So, as you are hopping on, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, feel free to sprinkle all that good stuff. And you could do this kind of a project on just about any surface. I was just going for what I had on hand for this project, and this is what I had. I do think that the scale of this project would probably be better if my wood sign was a little bit smaller. This is 12 by 12, but you know, this is what I had, so this is what I'm using. Okay, I painted the front, and I'm going to paint the outside edge, but I am leaving the inside edge the blue. And I may come back, depending on how it looks when it's all finished, and add do one more coat of gold, just to make this really stand out. Easy. Okay, so let me hit this real quick with my heating device, and then we'll do this one. And I have done a lot of the steps before I came live so that you wouldn't have to wait. But this is the one that I wanted to show you, so I couldn't do the whole entire thing. I'm going to set this aside for just a minute to let it do its thing, and I'll remember that I put the newly painted part out. Okay, let's do this one. So how is everyone doing today? You may not be in the mood to watch me do a nativity themed craft, but this turns out so beautiful, and it's so totally affordable and just different. It's a great craft to make and give away, especially if you make it on a Dollar Tree surface. I'm not being super careful because I want some of the gold to spill over to the front of this. Okay, so this is the first coat, and I just did the edges, and I would come back after that's fully dry and do another coat. And it's about to get noisy here. I'm very sorry. I did not know this was about to happen. But we have a really nice guy who is helping us with our yard. He's a fireman, and he does this part-time because, you know, they don't pay firemen a ton of money. Anyways, so he just walked up basically to my window with his blower to blow everything off the back patio. Okay, so before I came live, I did this one. Just wanted to show you that you could do this same project on some of these little stretch canvases. I also did this one. And let's move on to the shells. Okay, so where do you get oyster shells? Well, I picked up a whole bag of these little ones 10 or 15 years ago, honestly. Somewhere in either South or North Carolina, I cannot remember. They were freshwater, teeny little oysters. And then I found a bag of oyster shells. These are okay at Queen of Hearts. So I decided to grab that, but you can order oyster shells on online on Amazon. You can probably get them on Etsy. Just depends on what you want to pay. So this is what they look like on the outside, and this is what they look on the inside. I have tried, just so you know, I have tried taking oyster shells home from a restaurant and cleaning those up, and it is very difficult to get the smell of oysters out of them and to get them this clean. So unless you're committed to do that, I would recommend that you just buy them. Buy them cleaned and bleached and all that business. Somebody enjoyed this oyster, and now I'm going to make it beautiful. So, how do you get the inside to be gorgeous and glossy and pearly and opalescent like this one? I have found that the easiest thing to do, and it's turns out beautiful, is just to take some of this Magnolia Design Company. It's called Glittering White Chalk Paste. It's not designed for this purpose, but it works perfectly. And I'm basically just going to paint it on this inside part of my seashell. I don't want it to be on there too thick or puddled up anywhere, because then it kind of looks cloudy. And I may come back and add one more coat to it. We'll see. So let me try this. This is a giant shell that I showed how to make. A few weeks ago, and I used that same awesome stuff on the inside. I did also paint this with 1 or 2 coats of white Waverly paint on the inside because it had a lot of imperfections, and I wanted it to just be solid white, and then I used this glittering white chalk paste on it, and I used the same gold that we're going to use on this, and it's beautiful. This was a thrift store find. I found a package of 4 of those giant shells 2 or 3 years ago. They've been hanging out in a box here. I forgot I had them and just discovered that they were there and decided to show you how to make them pretty. Okay. Yeah, that's mostly dry. All right, I am running through the paintbrushes. Let's see. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's prettier on the inside already. And a lot of people will paint these little purple blobs out, but I think that's part of what makes them beautiful. So I don't. Unless I'm going to decoupage on it, like some pretty napkin or something, then I will paint it because the blob will be distracting. Okay, so then you're just going to take a small paintbrush and go around the edge of your oyster shell. And this is a personal preference thing. Do you like a really thin line? Do you like a thicker line? And do you like this part right here where there was a muscle that helped this organism open and close its shell? Do you like that part left white? Do you like that part painted? For this one, I'm going to go with painting it just so you can see. And this is going to take, without the help of a heating device, it is going to take probably 15-20 minutes to dry. So I'm going to do this part. And so I will let it dry 100%. Then I will come back and do a second coat of the gold. So it's just really pretty and doesn't look, you know, I don't know. I just think it's prettier if it has two coats. Okay. So this is what that looks like. And it will sit and dry. I will do another coat. And then for this project, I'm going to spray it, where is it? Here. With this Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Cover Clear Gloss. And that makes the oyster shell even a little bit more shiny and beautiful. So I will do that. Okay. Oh, and then I have these little starfish that I purchased at a seashell something or other years ago. I painted this one solid gold, and then this one I just painted the tips. We're going to use those. Okay, let me get my junk out of the way. So tell me in the comments, did you know that the time of the year of Jesus's actual birth was probably more likely in summer to early fall than December 25th? That's just when, for all kinds of reasons, I don't know, but that's just when it was decided that it would be celebrated. So if anyone asks you, why are you making a nativity in spring or summer or fall, you can tell them. You can Google it, as a matter of fact, but go to Luke, the 2nd chapter, to read the whole story of Jesus's birth. Okay, so this is one that is well on its way. These were little oysters that I picked up either in North or South Carolina. I cannot remember. Eons ago, I did that whole thing with it. The glittering white chalk paste, the gold paint, the glossy spray, and then I used both E6000 and hot glue to attach it to this piece. And I am going to add this. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so beautiful. I am super excited. Okay, so I'm just looking to see where my raised parts are going to be that I want to do. Because this little guy here is not, it's not flat. Okay. How did I have this? There we go. This one like that. Okay, where is my glue? Let me pull these blobs of glue off, and let's try again. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out. How did I want this to lay? Not that it really matters, but let's use hot glue for this moment, and I will come back if I need to. Also come back and clean everything up, because I have glue strings galore everywhere. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Okay, so there's that one. All right, let's come back to this bigger piece, which I think is mostly dry, but I'll put the part that we painted away from me. What are you guys thinking so far? Do you like this idea of a beachy themed nativity scene? I do. So this was one of those $3 Dollar Tree Plus easels. I gave it a coat. It needs a little more, I think, to really blend in with this piece, but this is what I'll be putting this in. And these are great. If you have a Dollar Tree Plus, grab these next time you see them. I use them all the time. Okay, and for this one, I have these oyster shells all ready to go. I have a taller one, which is going to represent Joseph. Okay, and that's basically what I'm going to do. I may come back and add some Spanish moss. So let's do Mary first. And the reason why I'm adding the A6000 is because these oysters are heavy. And I want them to be permanently on there. Okay, now let's do Joseph. This little trio here was difficult to come up with because I wanted to use these larger oyster shells, but then I needed a little one that was white because these have a very white tone to them. So figuring out which one would work to be this little Jesus was difficult. Okay, so here's Jesus. Oh, that's perfect. If you are liking this project or the other crafts that I do here, which I mostly do quick and easy crafts that involve either faith, family, or flowers. And I do things that are affordable, that are sometimes kind of different, like making a nativity in summer using seashells. So I'm going to glue this on right here. Yeah, I'm going to glue it like that. And I'm just going to use my hot glue. Melt my glue strings and pull it off. And I was considering, tell me what you guys think. I was considering doing some flecks of gold because there are a couple on here totally by accident. I was just messy, I guess. And I kind of think they look pretty, so I'm sort of considering adding some more. This guy has a ton of okay, so I will have to get my heating device busy to get all of that melted and off there. But this was the first one. This is agave. And I'm going to come back with some of these other little pieces and either do this or finish this one. I don't know. But here's the big one. And what I would really appreciate is if you would tell me your honest to goodness opinion. Do I need to add something else here? And if so, what? Or should I just do flecks of this gold paint, which will be messy. So I'm not sure if I want to do that. Anyways, this was our project of the day. I hope that I motivated and inspired you. In this project right here, I have $3 for this wood piece, $3 for the easel, pennies worth of paint, pennies worth of this gold paint, a couple of oysters, and a starfish. And this one, I don't know where I got this little block, but it was probably $1 or less. So this one is probably a $1.50 kind of a decoration that I think anyone, I mean, I would love that if somebody gave it to me. So that is what I wanted to show you. Do a this or a this. It's a heart. If you liked it, sprinkle, sprinkle if you feel like it. I do have a complete supply list that I would be glad to give you, and it has the names of those paint, colors, and yeah, the dimensions, I think, of this. But I mean, this is such an easy project. And it also will have a replay. So if you missed the beginning and you want to just easily go back and click one button to be able to watch this video from the start, just say supplies or ingredients or something like that so I know. Otherwise, I hope you have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day, and that you'll come back tomorrow for more crafts, quick and easy, sometimes different, affordable, that are going to involve faith, family, and